So as we see here, Paul George has been in active talks with the Clippers in regards to an contract extension. Now, of course, as for Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, they both signed contracts a few years ago, and this is their second year of their contract, I believe, which in their contract stated that their second year option, they had the availability to listen to other teams or possibly walk to another situation or go to another situation. And, listening to Paul George, by looking at what we're looking at here, he's saying that why not retire, as a Clipper? Why not retire here? It's a good organization, good everything, good environment. And why not retire where he's from, which is L.A., you know what I'm saying, which is, California. So it all makes sense, but at the same time, you got to ask yourself, is Kawhi thinking the same thing? Or, are they going to be together if, are they both going to sign contract extensions? This is the question that a lot of Clippers fans may have. Or should I say some, maybe not a lot, or maybe vice versa. But, what Paul George saying is definitely a good sign for the Clippers, because it definitely makes them understand, or he's definitely putting it out there that he wants them to know that he's willing to stay the distance, stay the time, stay and, be the player that they want him to be, and, be there for the organization, all for one. And that's good. That's definitely a good thing to hear. It definitely be even better to hear Kawhi Leonard say that as well, but Kawhi, with him is so different, because you don't know what he's thinking. He doesn't speak much, and he just lets his game do the talking. And I definitely respect that, because, as a player, you got to play your position, and you got to play it very well, and you've got to perform, and you've got to deliver. And, Paul George, is good to hear that he wants to be a Clipper going forward and things like that. But, at the same time, the owners and the executive office, they also want Paul George along with Kawhi to deliver a championship as well. I mean, because the Clippers have had great players on their team previous years, but a championship never came out of it. And they're really putting all their eggs in one basket, or putting all their money into this one stock of Kawhi and PG, that it will work out in their favor for them to win a championship. And if that's the case, then, that's all well and said, all well and done, all good is good. But at the same time, it's definitely encouraging to hear one of your superstar players say that they would like to return and they would like to stay for the long haul and possibly retire with the team. So, I mean, that's definitely a good sign, definitely a good thing for Clippers fans to hear. And Paul George is one of the favorites, on the Clippers on the Clippers organization in regards to the fan base and things like that. And I definitely think that Paul George, if he plays to his ability, consistently, and if he plays to his ability in the playoffs, and if if Kawhi is healthy, I just don't see no reason why they couldn't make an NBA Finals bare minimum. Now, of course, the Suns and all these other teams are pretty good and all this other stuff, but I mean, honestly, the Clippers have been battle tested. And then one thing about when you think about teams that have been battle tested, they've been through the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows of a season, and they've been through the ups and downs together. And they suffered defeat, embarrassment, all that type of stuff. So it's like their mind, their motivation, their drive is higher than a lot of other teams who are just putting teams together with all the talent and think that they can just coast through the West and go through it like it's nothing to it. But the Clippers have been battle tested. They've been through a lot, and they've been through the struggles, man. And I definitely think, if this team can stay healthy, you heard me say it many times before, this team can go a long way. And I definitely think that, Kawhi is going to have to, be in the forefront. I definitely think that him and Paul George got to be in the forefront. They have to balance each other out. They have to, take pressure off each other, but they also have to be on the floor as much as possible. And, what Ty Lue's saying, the regular season is going to be taken more serious this year with this team. I'm definitely highly anticipating to see how many games, him and Kawhi can play together. I don't really particularly care, if one's there without the other. I want to see how many games they play together, because that's going to make all the world difference. When you see one without the other and the Clippers still win a game or two here and there, or go on a 2 or 3 game winning streak during the season, that doesn't matter to me, because the point is to see both of them out there on the floor dominating and just doing their thing from night to night and, and not even having no remorse for any team that steps on the floor with them. That's the mentality they have to have, and that's the type of drive they have to have. Now, I know they have it in them, but their body has to have it in it as well for them to stay healthy and sustain their health going through the season so they can, be the best team they can be. Because when you think about the Clippers, they're just so deep in so many ways. I mean, it's like they got guys like Rocco on the bench that barely gets any playing time because they're so deep and they got so many weapons that they can utilize. And Norman Powell is just a walking bucket. I mean, the guy can get you 20, 25 points off the bench any freaking night he wants to. I mean, it's just that simple. So, I mean, you got him there, and, Russ is still, high energy, high motor. Russ is still going to give you everything he got. Russ can, on good nights, Russ can damn near give you a triple double still. He can't give you 28, 16 and 10. He can't give you that, but he can give you, 15, 9 and 15, 9 and, I'll say 16, 9 and 9. I'll say that. He can give you 16, 9 and 9 a night. He can do that still. I personally believe in his talent that he can still do that if given the opportunity. The only problem is you just want the turnovers to cease or, simmer down a little bit. And if that's something the Clippers can keep under control, they got they hit the lottery with Russ if they can keep that under control. And that would be a perfect ideal situation. But I think the Clippers are overall just super overly talented. I mean, very super talented. They just got to stay healthy. And as I said before, listen to Paul George say these things and, speak out and saying he wants to be, a Clipper, for a long time. And he really has a great feel for organization and things like that. I definitely think that's a plus. I definitely think that's something that the Clippers fans want to hear and the organization wants to hear. The only thing is you got to win a championship, because opening up that new stadium that Steve Ballmer's doing and putting all this money into the team, he ain't doing it just for people to come back and take more of his money and get contract extensions. He's doing it for championships. So, I mean, understand what comes with that and go out there and try to win. But here's my take on everything. Leave any comments and we'll talk about it.